We are live.
We are
How
live.
exciting!
Chitty chatty.
It's not on my phone yet.
Well, because it takes a second to get through.
We're gonna give folks a minute or so,
Mhm.
and we'll chit chat. We'll talk about where we're filming and
Oh,
why. That's part of the whole 48-hour recap. And granted, it's been a little bit more than 48 hours, and you can always see these.
Mhm.
Like after the fact, if you go to the live tab,
Mhm.
there's sort of archive there. So if you come in late and whatever, or you want to watch it again,
Exactly.
you can do that. It looks like we are actually now
Are we now live?
going. Yes.
Are we going? We're going?
Well, people can see us.
Oh, they can. Oh no. Oh well, I'm glad they can see us.
All right, so we are here on our cruise. That was part of the 120 challenge. Really to
Yes.
find a cheap filler cruise for the winter, and see how absolutely crazy cheap we could go. And we did. I thought we did a great job.
Yes, we did a great job. It is definitely a cheap cruise.
So we. The Salty Medic is here, of course.
Of course you are.
So we chose the MSC Maravilla
Mhm.
11-night sailing
Mhm.
out of Brooklyn, New York, which I'm not sure why we thought it was a good idea to sail from New
Who
York in
wants to
January.
sail out of Brooklyn, New York in January? It was frigid.
It was so cold.
Oh.
And visiting with family on the weekend, there was like a snow squall on Sunday. It
Mhm.
was like a little treacherous for a bit. And then Monday it was so cold. I think it was like 20 degrees when we got up in the morning.
It was ridiculous. I was layered up like, yeah, I'm going to the Bahamas. Yeah,
Yeah, there's more pants
exactly.
in our like wardrobe than actually shorts. And we're wearing shorts today
Yes, we are.
because we are defying the weather.
Yes, we are, because we're in the cabin. That's where we are.
Well, today we are in Port Canaveral, and we're going to do this from outside because SpaceX was actually launching a shuttle today at 5:11.
We were excited about that. So we were going to be talking to you, and SpaceX was going to fly up behind us. We were all prepped. And guess what they decided to do?
Scrubby.
Scrub.
Yeah, so it is tomorrow now, which is just as well because it is cold outside. It's like only in the 50s.
In Florida.
In Florida, yeah. So, but we wore shorts today anyway.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get to why we're doing this from the cabin as well. There are other reasons.
Yes, there are.
Um,
Let's start with the embarkation.
oh my goodness.
Okay, hey, if you've ever watched the, what's it, Maze Runner, do it in slow motion, and that's what it was.
Yeah. So, and if you like cruised 20 years ago, this is like reminiscent of that embarkation day.
Yes.
So we were a bit pinned in on time
Mhm.
by the train because we were taking the
Mhm.
train from Rhode Island to New York.
Mhm.
So we got the first train, but it didn't get in until a little bit before 11.
Right.
And then we had to, get a rideshare over to the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal.
Mm.
It's only like 9 miles, but it took take forever. It's New York.
Yes.
Even-
Subway may have been faster.
Yes, we actually toyed with that. But after having to ride up the subway elevator with a guy sleeping on the floor
In the elevator. Mhm.
So,
Welcome to
It's-
New York City. Yes.
New York.
It's beautiful.
So, so we got there and we took our luggage on with us,
Hmm.
and the line, we got there at 11:40. And our time frame was actually
Mhm.
11:30,
Mhm.
but you could get here as early as 10:30.
Hmm.
And it took us like 50 minutes between the line to get through security
Hmm.
and then the check-in line. They still use paper,
Yes.
like you had to print out. And the
Your documentation.
gal was yelling, if they don't have them printed out, you gotta print them out for them.
Very, very New York City. Yes.
So we finally, and they're like, okay, we're gonna get on the ship. No, they gave us a number.
A number.
We had to go into a room.
A big room with lots of people. Like, there were seats.
No rhyme or reason.
No rhyme or reason. Calling out over a speaker system that you couldn't hear, really.
And we had number 6, and they
6.
were on number like 36 or something.
36.
And we're like, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got up to 50, then they started over, and they had people walking among the aisles telling us when we were supposed to go, if you couldn't hear the numbers. It was cray.
Yeah,
It was
so
just total cray.
it was. We eventually got on the ship,
Mhm.
but it was like 2 hours from the time we had gotten to the terminal.
Mhm.
Contrast that with our grandeur of the seas in November, where
Okay.
it was 12 minutes.
We walked into the terminal. This person met us with an iPad. Oh, are you here for you're cruising? Are you excited? Yes. Let me see your documents. No, okay, there, and go through that door right over there, and you'll be on the ship. And we're kind of going, what just happened? Yeah.
Yeah, and even in December on the Equinox, it was only about 15 minutes. There was a little bit more of a slowdown, but that was outside because they were metering traffic into the terminal.
Yes, they were.
So that was the start. So
That set the tone.
yes,
I'll say.
lunch was only served until, it was served till 4 in the buffet,
Mhm.
but
However,
because they have not modernized their
Nope.
safety drill.
yes,
You have to watch the video in your cabin
at a specific
at
time.
a specific time, 2:15.
Yes, 2:15.
Call on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and then wait for them to call you to go to the muster station. While that's going on, no service is happening.
No elevators. Okay.
Yeah.
No food at the buffet. They pull the food off of the buffet to
And-
get you to go down to the muster station.
And I was reading in the Facebook group for this sailing, there was a group of people ready to riot, and I guess we didn't even get close enough to be able to be in the thick of that. But, and because we dropped our luggage, and then we had to change our dining room a bit,
Mm-hmm.
because they also do that the old school way.
You have to go and change it. Yes.
Yes, and the only reason we got something great is because the restaurant manager's like, I gotta go, I gotta be at my station.
I have to be at my muster
They're
station.
like, okay, just give us
Okay, I'll write it down here. Just hand it to someone.
whatever you want.
Okay.
So that worked out okay. But then we got up to the buffet like at 2:10, and we're like, they're pulling food, and there's this huge line, and we're like, we're so hungry. Luckily, I had some almonds and cashews, and
Yes.
so when we got back to the room, it was like,
By the way, we had to walk
almonds.
up and down the stairs because the elevators weren't working.
Yes,
Okay.
like 10 decks or something.
Good.
So
So
this gives you a peek into how that first day started. I think there was some discussion of potentially just disembarking in Miami.
Yes. When we come back, we go through customs in Miami, and we're
Yes.
thinking, do we want to stay on the ship or
Or
not?
we can just take the tri-rail up to our RV.
Exactly.
Um,
It was bad. Oh.
Anyway, so after all of that,
We did get food. We did get
we
food.
did finally.
However, we are in the cabin doing this because of a specific reason.
Yes. So this ship holds 4,500 at double occupancy. It's a very large ship.
Yes, it is.
I would say it's a Las Vegas hotel
I-
on the sea.
Yes. There, no saying it. It feels like it. Yes. And not one of those classy Las Vegas hotels. Kind of a, just a little bit off hotel.
Like there's like columns that are plastic.
Yes. And pleather everywhere. Mhm.
So it's been a little tough. There aren't a lot of public spaces, and
No.
those public spaces aren't large.
No.
So
There's no place to get to have just quiet time. And obviously, if we are doing a recording, we can't have music in the background. We learned that one on our last one. So where can we go?
we did find a spot on deck where we were going to do it when the launch was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's cold out there, and the launch isn't happening, so there's no reason for us to do that.
Yeah. And we like the green pleather behind us, so we thought that'd be
like
really
a
nice
green
for you.
screen. if
Yes.
you yeah, and the lounge. There's a sky lounge here. Overlooks the
Ooh,
pool deck and the
yeah.
ocean on the sides.
Mhm.
That has been full every day until today.
Yes.
So we actually, for the first time, really. Yesterday I tried to read a book in there.
Couldn't happen.
And you know that guy who comes back, there's stuff there, but like you
Mhm.
don't know if someone's actually sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows up and he's like, Oh yeah.
This is where I always come on every cruise that I actually go on this ship, and it's where I relax and read my books. And oh, by the way, I now want to talk to you for 15 minutes.
I hope that's okay. And I'm like, you keep looking down at the book and they don't get the hint.
Yeah, no hint.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And finally, with the card players behind it, I was just like, okay, we're out of here. And we went to another space and it wasn't quiet.
No.
So the ship feels very crowded
Mm-hmm.
because there aren't those spaces. So that is a big problem for us.
The design of the ship is something that concerns us greatly.
It is like a maze. It's like the boarding process.
Yes.
They're
yes.
prepping you for it.
Exactly. The decks are also very narrow. I mean, they're not tall
And short.
and
yeah.
short.
Yeah.
So they're kind of uncomfortable being on a level or a floor.
Yes.
They don't have multi-decks, spaces.
Yeah, there's
a
only
few.
one, like 3-deck area.
Yeah, and
then
that's
the
about it.
Galleria, which is a 2-deck space.
Mall. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mall,
Yeah,
yeah.
mall.
So
Las Vegas Mall.
Yeah, so that's been a big problem for us. Like we never spend time in the cabin, and yesterday and this morning actually,
Mhm.
well, before we docked,
Hmm.
we were in the cabin, and
Yeah.
I think I fell asleep again after having slept like 10 hours.
Yes, you did. You did. You were snoring.
Yeah, so that says something. But on the upside,
We have an upside? Oh, we do have an
the
upside.
entertainment.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's all we have to say about
There was
that.
a Broadway tribute review show last night.
Oh, I would have paid money for it. I mean, don't tell them, but I would have paid money for it. It was amazing.
Yes.
I'm trying to hold it still. I have
I
it
know you are.
at my hand.
Even
is
if you have to use both hands.
I'll hold both hands. Yes,
'Cause
I have
it's making me dizzy.
I have a selfie stick that
Making
we're working
me
on here,
dizzy.
and it's like, oh my arm.
Because you didn't hear this story, but I'm going to tell it.
Oh no.
Somebody lost our mini portable travel tripod
I don't know who that would be. Who
on
could
the
that be?
Grandeur of the Seas.
What?
In November.
Somebody lost it? Who would have lost it? Was it me that lost it? Yeah.
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 Yeah. And so if you've watched our Grandeur review, we already said guest relations was pathetic. It was, and so there was no getting that back.
No. It went bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Anyway.
So I'm working with the selfie stick here. Oh, my arm.
Yes.
Keep going.
So entertainment has been fantastic, better than we expected.
Yes.
And that's great. And food actually has not been that bad.
No, it's been, I'd call it above average.
Yeah, it is above average. And we had a great beef tenderloin last night.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you don't see that quality in main dining rooms
No.
much anymore. And the buffet actually has been edible for breakfast.
Mhm.
The coffee at the buffet
Mm-hmm.
is actually drinkable.
Yes, it's okay. Mm-hmm.
So super excited for
Yes, yes. So we may not get off in Miami.
that. But the cabin is kind of weird too. It's kind of weird. We did a cabin tour, so we'll post that as well.
Yeah. Oh. Mm. Yes.
So we have 9 more days of this.
Mm-hmm. And we'll let you know.
It'll be great when people are off the ship,
Yes.
but not so great when they're on the ship. It'll be better, I think, when it warms up, because then we'll be able to spread outside.
Yes, yes. Because it's been cold and no one wanted to be at the pool outside.
Yes, and there is
snow. There was snow on the deck.
Yes, it did snow that first day
Oh my
out, and then last night we had a giant rainstorm with like an inch of rain on the pool deck. But there's a nice adult pool area, but it's uncovered. It's outside at the aft,
Mm-hmm.
which will be great once it's warm enough. And tomorrow we are supposed to get into the 80s, probably it's going to be warm for 5 or 6 days.
Yes.
Now, or warm enough.
Mm-hmm. Warm enough. Not that we don't have to wear pants, maybe. Yeah.
So that is all I have. That is just a quick update.
Yes, and what it's like in the first 48 hours.
Are we sorry we did it? The first day,
Yes.
we were ready to get up to leave.
Immediately, yes.
Um,
It's gotten a little bit better, I'll say that.
yes.
Yeah, so...
So it'll be interesting to see how the reviews
Mhm.
and this all turns out. So you'll want to make sure, if you're not subscribed,
Definitely subscribe.
make sure you're subscribed. Hit that
Mhm.
bell for notifications for our upcoming videos.
Mhm.
And as always,
Keep on trekking. Okay, now how do you turn this thing off? Okay, push the button. Where's the button? There. Okay. Stop for me. End.